Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 26. That's right, 26 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, aka the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. Let me get my breath back. Okay. Calm. Are you ready? You may notice I am wearing a bandana. Why is the B-Man doing that? Why am I talking in the third person? Because Malik Neighbors, Let's Go Giants. The bandana is because I have decided that is going to be the theme of summer 2024, and I am a true believer to have a memorable summer, one that's worth living. You need to have a theme and abide by that for the entire 3 to 4 months, Memorial Day through Labor Day plus. Summer 69, Summer of Love was in 69, San Francisco. You probably don't know about this, but the summer of 2007 in Wallingford, Connecticut was the theme was Get Lit, Get Yours. One of the best summers ever. Some of my friends took it way too seriously, myself included. So much so where like some of my friends would have to go get an IV the next morning. I have a sister who's a nurse, so we had access to those. And some of my friends got theirs way too much. They were really good at getting genitalia. Me, not so much. But this summer is going to be the bandana. So every episode, every time you see me out, I will have a bandana on my head, my neck, my arm, my ankle, the microphone. Go to Joann Fabric, a local arts and crafts store, if you will. Buy a piece of fabric for like $6, cut a square, and join the theme. Why am I actually wearing a bandana? It's because I plucked my eyebrows so they're really red, so I don't want you all to see that. Have any of you ever gone out with your friends and they come to pick you up and you tell them, wait, can we wait a half hour before we go out because I just plucked my eyebrows and I look like a crazy person? Maybe that's just me. Why am I sharing this? But yeah, bandana, hot, 2024. We're trendsetters here. So let's get to it. Go buy yourself a bandana. Let's get into the episode. This one comes from the subreddit Women's Health, because who better to talk to about women's health than Brian Glass? Okay. Is there a solution to swamp crotch that I'm missing? I get really sweaty crotch and I have no idea what the solution is, but I need to find one because from a sensory perspective, it is a nightmare and I'm fed up of having soggy knickers. The issue is this. Unless I basically sit at home doing nothing, my crotch gets so sweaty, I need to change my knickers around 3 times a day. Once in the morning, once when I get home because they are saturated in sweat at this point due to having a physical job, and once before bed after my shower. Does anyone have any idea about how I can deal with this? Below is everything I have tried and other relevant info. Let's get into it. The sweat comes from my mons pubis area and also my groin. It is not discharge or urinary incontinence. I learned how to speak, Brian. I have tried panty liners, sanitary towels, stuffing my underwear with wads of toilet roll, and even clean, dry flannels, cloths, maybe a bandana. I have been doing this for years, and I feel like I need a better solution. Yes, you do. I have tried being shaved, trimmed, okay, and having full bush. Yay. And how my pubes makes no difference to the amount of sweat I produce down there. I wear cotton knickers. I have tried going to bed without knickers, hearing that helps, but it made no difference to being sweaty and just meant I had to change my pajamas. I read this, I think about this a lot differently. I just suspect than most normal people, because as a self-proclaimed panty sniffer, which I've went into great detail in a previous episode, go check those if you're interested. This makes me thrilled. Just knowing that your panties get sweaty doing nothing, you can make so much money selling those panties. As I mentioned in an earlier episode, you can sell used panties from anywhere between like $30 and $100. And the fact that you're able to get yours sweaty without doing anything, and you have to change them 3 times a day. I'm doing the math in my head within my bandana, and I do think you could probably make over $1,000 a week easily just selling your underwear, doing nothing. And some of the babes who sell their underwear, they need to like play with themselves while wearing them or go for a jog. You just gotta like walk around the block, and that's an easy $50 right there. You should seriously consider that. Also, another thing you might want to do is just quit your physical labor job and join a freak show. Maybe a carnival, a freak show where like people pay $20 to see the lady with the sweaty crotch, because you got that Florida Gator, the Florida Gator crotch swamp. Welcome to the swamp. I think that's what they call their football stadium. Gators. But you're a freak show. That's what you are. So you should be trying to make a little bit of money off of that. And there are definitely guys out there who will pay to not even touch, just to see the perspiration dripping from your groin, this glistening sweat, the sweat glands going. You just travel the country, travel the world, and you could easily make more money and have a more interesting, engaging life than you do with whatever your physical job is now. I'm kind of a sports bro. So immediately when you start talking about this, one solution I had, if you don't want to become a freak show or degrade yourself by selling your panties online, which is understandable. I don't think any differently of you for not wanting to go that route and wanting to be more socially acceptable. Is there was this famous coach at Georgetown, a basketball team, men's basketball. He would always wear a towel over his shoulder. I'll put a little video right there. He was from the 80s and 90s. So if you just wear a towel and just make sure nobody's looking at you, then you could kind of wipe yourself off. Or maybe better than a towel is if you ever watch the Olympics, the divers, like the swimming divers, they always have those towels where like it's not cotton. I'm not sure what the fabric is, but it drains the pool water off of them really quickly. So that might be better for a towel than you. So just put that over your shoulder. Also, LeBron James, you know how he has like the baby powder or the Gold Bond, and he kind of makes the cloud. You could kind of do that in your bathroom every morning just by your crotch, just a crotch cloud of baby powder. I suspect you've probably tried that and it doesn't work. The key takeaway from this is you're not going to find a like over-the-counter solution to your sweaty crotch, because if there was an over-the-counter solution, you probably would have found it by now, or someone would have given you like a link to what you could buy on Reddit. And I did look through the replies on this post. I don't always do, but for this one, I was kind of interested because I didn't know that sweaty crotch was a thing. Again, I'll admit I didn't realize babes pee out of their vagina till well into my 20s. So maybe I'm not the best person to be giving advice on the vagina, especially a very slick, sweaty one. But we're just trying to make content here. And we're trying to do everything. Guys, girls, we're trying to include everybody. Be inclusive here at Verbal Graffiti. So you gotta go. For those of you old enough, you'll understand this reference. You got to go MacGyver. Like, you got to come up with your own solution. And that's what I'm doing here. So my real advice, again, and that's if you don't want to be a freak on a carnival, is quit your physical job if you can. Go find an office job. And this is my solution. Find an office job, like a desk where you're at a cubicle, wear a skirt every day. So that will, your crotch will be open. It'll have more airway. I think that might help. And what you want to do is put a little fan underneath your cubicle in the direction of your crotch. And since you're wearing a skirt, the fan air will go into your crotch area and hopefully dry out some of the constant perspiration. Is that the correct word for sweat? Yes, it is, B-Man. Also put a mini dehumidifier underneath your desk. So you have the fan, the skirt, the dehumidifier, and then what you want to do is, as I mentioned earlier, get one of those rags that the Olympic divers use and kind of have that at your desk. And like what I do sometimes where like I have to change the direction of my ball sack, where I'm like kind of eyeing to see if anyone's looking at me, do that with your wiping towel. Like just kind of see, make sure nobody's eyeing you. And when they're not eyeing you, just do a quick wipe, drain it in a wastebasket under your desk, which they do at all cubicle jobs have. Everyone has their own like little wastebasket. So do that. I believe you do all those steps where you wear a skirt, have a mini like desk fan under your desk in the direction of your crotch, a mini dehumidifier. You have the swimming towel and a little wastebasket where you can like dump the water out at the end of the day. All those steps, and I think you'll be able to manage your sweaty swamp crotch. Again, I have swamp ass, but not swamp crotch. But I think that's a good solution. Also, one more thing. I know a lot of people are going to advise moving to a colder region of the country if you can. I disagree. I say move to a more humid, hotter region. So if you're in the United States, maybe somewhere like Texas, southern Florida, Arizona, Louisiana, because there you'll be sweaty all over. So your sweaty crotch won't be singled out. Like everyone will just think you're just sweaty from head to toe, not just your crotch area. Whereas if you move to a colder region, you'll probably still be sweaty there. And people you work with, lovers, they might start asking questions. And it seems like you're embarrassed by this, so you're not going to want to answer those questions. So I hope that helped you out, and hopefully you have a less swampy crotch if you use my advice. Let's get to some photos now. Me. That's all verbal graffiti is about. I was looking over the previous segment, and it hit me that I was talking about my eyebrows, but what about your eyebrows? How do you take care of them? Do you pluck them? Do you wax them? Do you go see a professional to get them done? Have you gotten them lasered? Let me know down in the comments how you do them. Let's get some engagement. It is a topic I do have a lot of interest in, so I really am intrigued how all of you keep your eyebrows and other body hair in order. Before this becomes even more awkward than it already is, let's get to the next segment. This one hit me. Comes from the subreddit Artist Lounge. Do you feel awkward posting your art knowing that almost no one will see it? I don't know why, it just hit me recently. There is nothing wrong with being a small artist, and I truly don't want to disrespect anyone with that question. None taken. It's just that I feel like I look like a failure when people I know find my art account where I basically just tweet art for 5 followers, who are really nice though. I'm glad I have the support. Is this feeling normal, or am I focusing too much on the numbers while no one really cares? I just don't want to look like I'm talking to myself or trying too hard to reach people. I would probably never stop making art, but I'm considering stopping posting it to not feel like a fool around people I know in real life. I don't need validation, so no worries. I'm just curious how other small artists deal with this, if I happen to be the only one who has these feelings. Well, as a small artist, aka failed artist, I can tell you, you're not the only one who feels this way. When I read this, it hit me in the chest and kind of it burned a little bit, because I felt like I was reading my internal monologue that I have with myself every day throughout the day. The only time I'm not having this is when I'm drinking, which isn't that often. So when it just kind of, what I'll say is, and you should know most of the responses I've given so far are done tongue in cheek. Obviously, just look at the women's health earlier in this episode. But this one, I'll speak the truth to this one. I gotta stop saying. Multiple things can be true. What I mean by that is your friends can talk shit behind your back and also not care about your art or you at all, which is very common. Like most people, we only care about ourselves and our immediate family. And even most people, like their immediate family is like, okay. You can quit. I mean, there's nothing wrong with quitting and stop doing your art. There are some advantages to quitting. One being you'll have much more time for other endeavors that you're interested in doing, whatever those may be. The problem is if you quit making your art, whatever that art may be, like the shit talkers win. And then when the shit talkers ask you, hey, what happened to your art account? Are you still doing that? You'll have to come up with an answer that's kind of a lie because you don't want to tell them the truth. The truth being, well, no one was interested in my art, so that's why I quit. Because you'll never say that out loud to people. That's something you'll take to your grave and it will eat away at you. And if you do quit, the thing is, like you've fallen in line, you've given in to the man, you've given up to the life that everyone said you were supposed to have, and this is what's going to happen. There's going to become a day, or there's going to be a day when you unexpectedly walk by an art gallery, and you're going to look inside and see the art on the walls, and it's going to sting right here. Because what you're going to think is you're going to see that art, those paintings, and what you're going to see is a painter who didn't quit and they're living the life you want to live. And that's going to hit you in your soul because that's the truth. And what that feeling is, that's a feeling of defeat, that you've given up on life because your art is what you really care about. And if you quit, it really means you quit life. So you can't quit making art. You can, but you're going to be giving up on life and you don't want to be that. I can't tell you how many times I've been doing comedy and someone will come in who used to do some mics or some shows and they'll be like, "Oh, you're still doing it?" And like I could see the dejection in their eyes. And this is coming from somebody who I'm a complete failure at every comedy endeavor I've ever had. Just to prove the point, I want to show the verbal graffiti. How many views am I? Let's go to my account. We'll see how many views I'm getting on my videos. Let's see. 0, 2, 1, 25, 20, 33 views, 5 views, 37, 23. You get the point. I believe on YouTube, the most views I've gotten for an episode of Verbal Graffiti so far is 97. You should also know I've done 2 stints in New York City doing stand-up comedy for a year. Each time I failed. I was not able to get beyond like the open mic, small bar show scene into like the real clubs. I had a written blog called After Time Expires that I did for over 3 years. No one read it. And now I'm doing stand-up still, and I'm doing this project called Verbal Graffiti, which I've just shown nobody's watching so far. But the thing is, I don't feel like a fool. What you're having right now is you have imposter syndrome. And not only artists have this. I truly believe everybody in any walk of life has it. So you have a day when you walk into work, and let's say you're a math teacher. You're like, I'm just playing make-believe. Like, I shouldn't be a teacher. I'm not. I didn't like make up any math. I just got some good grades in school, read a textbook, got certified, and now that's what I'm doing. Same thing with stand up. Like there are so many times I'm on stage that people are like, wow, how did you become a stand up comedian? I'm like, I'm just playing make believe. Like there's no license you need to get. You just put your name on a sign up list and they let you do 5 minutes. And if you're psychotic enough to keep going up and up, eventually you get kind of good or you quit, or you get good and you quit, which is even worse, which I've seen from so many people. And so you got to come up with that point. Like, you're worried about other people thinking you're a fool, but what I really think is going on by reading your posts is you feel like a fool posting your art. And that's the inflection point we're having. Like if you feel like a fool with your art, you're going to stop doing your art, whatever that is. But if you truly believe in yourself, now is the time to double down. And I really do believe that, because it's what I'm doing. Like I believe in my comedy. It's nobody's watching it. It's almost, I feel bad. Like not for myself, for people who aren't seeing this, because I think I'm a great comedian. I've on stage, on the mic, on written form, on video form, in all these formats. I think it's unique, but I think there is an audience for this, and I really do believe that. So when I'm putting it out, and it took me years before I actually put it on the internet. I believe in it, so I don't feel like a fool at all if nobody finds it. If anything, I feel sorry for people who aren't watching it. So what I would say is, hey, if you're posting it on Twitter, no, fuck that. Post it on Twitter, post it on Instagram, post it on TikTok, put it on Facebook, put it on Pornhub. Go to local parks on the weekend and sell your art, your paintings, sell it on street corners. Become obnoxious with your art. Like you gotta fake it till you make it. Like if you believe in your art, like when people walk by you and they're not buying it, like you don't feel like a fool. Like feel bad for them. I mean, you almost gotta like trick yourself into believing that like, you're the shit. You're the best artist in the world, and everyone who walks by or scrolls by your post without giving it a like they're the ones who are missing out. Like not you. So my advice is, like, I'm worried about you because I just feel the tone. Like, that's my internal monologue. And it's like, I just don't want you to walk by that art gallery that one day and feel like, damn, I gave up on life. And because we only get one life. So why are you going to quit and give in to the man? Fuck that. Just have some coffee, have some stimulation, and get back in the game. Double down, triple down. Because once you quit, life becomes easier, but it's not as fulfilling if you quit. So keep up the artwork. I'm never going to buy it, but you'll have a more fulfilling life. Till next episode, go suck a fat one.